Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into two really powerful situational leadership models, straight from the project management body of knowledge, the PMBOK guide. You're going to learn how the best leaders seem to know exactly which style to use and when. So let's get into it.
So let's kick things off with a big question. Why did the most effective leaders change their approach? You've seen them, right? They seem to just effortlessly switch things up from one person to the next. Well, it's because they know that a rigid, one-size-fits-all style just doesn't cut it in the real world of project management.
And look, this isn't just a nice idea or some popular opinion. It's a core principle. The PMBOK guide itself says it loud and clear. Effective leaders adapt their style to the situation. This one idea, right here, it's the foundation for everything we're about to talk about. It's all about being flexible instead of being fixed.
And that leads us right into our first key idea. One style just does not fit all. We have to embrace that flexibility. Honestly, in the complex world of projects, being rigid is just a recipe for failure. It's adaptability that's going to unlock success. The PMBOK guide has a great word for this: tailoring. It's all about deliberately adapting your approach to fit the specific project, the environment, and the work you're actually doing. And your leadership style? It's not separate from this. It's a huge part of what needs to be tailored. As your team's needs change, your leadership has to change right along with them. So, the big question is, how do we actually do this? How do we put this flexibility into practice? Well, we're going to start with our first framework, and it's one of the most famous models for adaptive leadership ever, Situational Leadership II. Okay, so at its heart, Situational Leadership II, or SLII for short, is all about being a good diagnostician. As a leader, your job is to figure out where an individual is at for a specific task, and you're looking at two key things: their competence, so their skills and knowledge, and their commitment, which is all about their motivation and their confidence to get the job done. And once you've made that diagnosis, you apply one of four leadership styles. So let's say someone is brand new. They're enthusiastic but don't have the skills yet. You use a directing style. You tell them what to do, how to do it. But as their skills grow, maybe their confidence dips a little. That's when you shift to coaching. Once they're good at the job, but maybe just need a little encouragement, you move to supporting. And finally, when they're a total pro, high competence, high commitment, you delegate. You get out of their way. It's this natural progression, and when you match your style correctly, you just accelerate their growth. Now, let's switch gears a bit. We're going to zoom out from the day-to-day tasks and look at the bigger picture. If SLI is about managing the what and how of the work, our next model is all about developing the who. Let's check out the Oscar coaching model.
Yeah, so the Oscar model isn't so much for in-the-moment management. It's more for guiding someone's development over the long haul. The best way to think about it is like a roadmap for a really great coaching conversation. It's built to help your team member create their own plan for growth, with you acting as their guide.
The acronym itself makes it super easy to remember the flow. You start with the L, the outcome. Where do they want to be in their career? Then you talk about the S, the situation. Where are they right now? Next, you brainstorm the C, choices. What are all the possible ways they could get to their goal? Then you narrow it down to the A, specific actions. What are they going to do next week? And, so important, you schedule the R, a review, to check in, keep the momentum going, and offer support. It's a really powerful, collaborative way to help someone grow. Okay, so we've got two pretty different models here, right? One's for managing the task at hand, the other is for developing the person for the future. So let's put them side by side. Let's really see how they stack up. Looking at it like this makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? SLI is your tool for managing performance on a specific task. You're acting as a manager. Oscar, on the other hand, is your framework for guiding that long-term growth. That's when you step into the role of a coach and a mentor. One is tactical, for the here and now. The other is strategic, for the long game. And here's the most important takeaway. They aren't competing models. They're complementary tools in your leadership toolkit. Which, of course, brings us to the most practical question of all: when do you use which tool? Because, knowing the theory is one thing, but applying it correctly, that's what separates the good leaders from the great ones. So let's get specific. All right, let's get practical. When are those moments on a project where you should look at a situation and think, aha, this is a perfect time for SLI? Honestly, you're going to find yourself using SLI constantly, just in the daily flow of a project. You're onboarding someone new, you start by directing them. You give a senior person a tough stretch assignment, you might need to shift into a coaching style for that task. You notice a great team member's motivation has dipped on a routine task? You might try a supporting style to re-engage them. It is your absolute go-to for tactical, task-level management. Okay, you know what's coming next. Let's ask the same question for our other model. When should you actually block off time on the calendar, specifically for an Oscar conversation?
The Oscar model is really perfect for those bigger, more structured conversations. We're talking about annual career planning or formal mentoring sessions with that person you know is a rising star. It's fantastic for creating performance improvement plans. Basically, it's for any time the goal isn't just get this task done, but help this person grow into their next role over the next several months.
So, as we start to bring this all together, it's really important to remember the big picture here. These models, SLII and Oscar, they aren't just theories you have to memorize for a test. They are powerful, practical ways to live out a core truth of project management.
And really, this is the connection we all need to make. Using models like these is how you actively demonstrate those key project management principles, like tailoring your approach. Your ability to adapt your leadership style isn't just about being a good boss. It's a strategic skill that directly drives project value and, ultimately, success. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought. Based on everything we've just talked about, think about your team right now. Who on your team needs you to be more of a director on that new task? Who really needs a structured coaching conversation about their future? Who on your team needs a different approach from you, starting tomorrow? Thanks for tuning in.